Daryl, I am so excited for our guest today.
For those of you who haven't been to book club, our guest today brought some spicy hot takes the last time, and I cannot wait for our next book club, which is coming up next month. So if you want details, go to the Power of X-Men Instagram page. But I will be there. I really hope our guest will be there, and I'm so glad that she is here today.
Our next book club read is Avengers versus X-Men, and it's going to be sponsored by Legion on Zoom. But I just want to quickly say, when Daryl and I were putting the list together for, people we think would be a good fit for What If episodes, the first person Daryl said was Susanna from Book Club, aka Metal.Magnetman, aka on the Zoom right now.
That's right, and she is secretly decided to be a Spider-Man variant. Because why not? Because
why not?
2021.
I don't have Demanda money, I wish I have whatever superpowers allowing her to cosplay as whoever she wants.
Oh my God. Yes.
That is her mutant power. Okay?
It is.
I love Demanda Martini so much. Folks, that's it. Another episode. Another shout out to Demanda Martini. I mean, the community has spoken, but we are here to talk about what if, specifically this episode, which is what if Killmonger rescued or saved Tony Stark? I'm forgetting. I think the UK has save and we have rescue. Sorry, just an innocuous little point there that I was on a podcast yesterday and they made that distinction. I was like, huh, okay.
Interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah, and for the US, it's rescued Tony Stark. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?
It's a really, I feel, dystopian alternate reality. And Susanna, I think you have a theory on the theme for What If. So
yes, pain.
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
I'm so glad you asked. Within each episode, we get various levels of pain. Episode 1, Peggy Carter, the bittersweet kind. Because while shit's going down, the world's sort of on fire, and then next thing you know, she's brought to the present, and she's like, oh yay, we won the war. But her face, that is not an expression of glee. That is the exact opposite.
She missed her dance with Steve.
And I mean...
And she was also trapped in a dimension with an octopus that was trying to kill her for 70 plus years. I mean, yes.
Unpleasant.
Also, if Marvel knows anything about not giving a crap, there's a good chance Steve might become some sort of Winter Soldier type thing. Because pain.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That Steve could become a Winter Soldier-ish. Remind me, where did Bucky leave off in that? What if? I mean, I think he was fine, right? So presumably he would age like a normal human and die.
I think so.
No, I mean, ya tú sabes. Oh.
So, I mean, looking at this episode, it's very clear where the pain was, and there's a lot of it. There was
episode 2, which was T'Challa as Star-Lord. I don't have to explain to you why it's painful. I don't have to. It speaks for itself. Number 3. What was that one? What was it? Zombie or Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange. Oh no! That was that was the one where Ant-Man, or not Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket killed all of the Avengers. It was that mystery, the Black Widow.
Oh yeah, it was
mystery.
the Avengers.
So somehow Marvel managed to bring another point. If you're a scientist who happens to be both named Hank and a Pym, if we don't keep you in check, you could destroy the world.
Yes. Nothing good comes out of Hank Pym or Janet Van Dyne. Nothing good, especially Janet.
Speaking which, because I know you're talking about how you think how she's responsible for House of M and all that.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so glad I brought this up because, by the way, you said in one of your kikis that Doctor Strange wiped Wanda's memories. And I've mentioned in the comics, I'm not sure if you saw that, when it was clearly Agatha Harkness.
Oh, you're right. It was Agatha. You're right. It was Agatha.
It was Agatha all
along. Oh, Agatha.
Emmy-winning song.
Winning song. Okay, but here's the thing, though. Here's my thing with Doctor Strange. Sidebar. Like, still, okay, so he wasn't the one who wiped her, but he still participated. And when Wanda came to him in the Vision and Scarlet Witch Volume 2 series, and Wanda's like, listen, doctor, how am I pregnant? This doesn't seem natural. She's like, oh, Wanda, don't worry about it. You're just like every new mom. There's a door. And like literally in Avengers Disassembled, then he shows up and you're like, the magics are being abused. Wanda, how long have you been messing with the world? He would eventually say in House of M. And I'm just like, come on. Like, you saw this problem from the inception and you literally gaslit her and sent her out the door because you didn't want to deal with it.
That, and also I think who wrote Disassembled? Brian Michaels?
Mm-hmm.
Either that or Brian and Michaels did not read the original Wand, Vision, and Scarlet Witch series.
No. And it's fine. Like, you can't hold... Like, the early 2000s, you didn't have the information available to you the way you do now. Like, I worked at Wizard back then, and like, I remember...
Which I was very surprised. Oh my God.
It was a lot of fun. But when we were writing articles, we had to go into the archives and read the comic books because Wikipedia just wasn't what it is today, and like the you didn't have digital comics. So I agreed. You know, he just didn't know. He didn't have the back. But I'm surprised Marvel didn't have like a historian or someone copy, edit, fact check it. You know, but anyways.
Hey, maybe Wanda made them disappear.
Okay, wait. So episode 3 and then episode 4, obviously it's a Doctor Strange. No, it's the Doctor Strange. Obviously, Doctor Strange lost his heart. The pain speaks for itself. And then zombies. What about zombies?
I mean...
That was sort of like, because it's a zombie apocalypse, you get what you get. You know, if you somehow make it out alive, cool. But there is a few things that I don't understand. How did Wanda, with all her powers, get affected? Thanos!
Mm-hmm.
How? You got the Infinity Gauntlet. You couldn't just... I know that you didn't have the complete set, but you couldn't use the power gem to, like, wipe them out?
I agree. I was thinking that too. Like, he couldn't just go like that, or Wanda couldn't create like a little bubble, but like, I don't know. I guess we just saw like how we kind of saw like Hank Pym biting Captain America. We can assume it was a version of that where like they just got the one up on him. And listen, I agree.
Did you like the episode the most because you got to see Hope die?
Yes. Everyone who knows power of it.
You got to see Hope die.
Poor Daryl, like for that episode.
Hope dies because for some reason Hope is Hope.
The future is no longer a 4-letter word. But yeah, when there were 2 people I talked to extensively about Wasp dying, one of them was Colel, who I co-host another podcast with, but also Daryl. I was just like, oh, Wasp is dead. But listen, in fairness, I don't dislike Hope. It's Janet. And even Michelle Pfeiffer, Janet, I like until that episode, because of course, Janet Van Dyne has not met a universe she doesn't want to dump on.
No. I never got Wops' whole deal in comics. Because here's the thing, and like it's like the same thing with Kitty Pryde, you know? She was a kid, she didn't have access to shit, you know? But Wasp, you're supposed to be a fashion designer.
I mean, I still maintain the dress she put Aurora in House of M was one of the ugliest things I have ever seen. That's supposed to be a JVD original, and it was hideous. And I've said that, and so many people were like, "No, it's not. It was beautiful." I was like, "Not for
Storm was wearing it, and she looks good in anything."
Absolutely, but the dress itself was ugly. But Storm wearing it made it work. Storm will make anything work. I'm sorry, Daryl.
Maybe Janet should have just been a pilot.
A charter pilot.
A charter pilot.
Another Demand a Martini reference.
It is the most ubiquitous role for Marvel women, especially those that they came up with in the 70s. Or earlier, because Janet was obviously the one woman on the Avengers. And that,
until Jennifer and Carol showed up, Wanda to join later.
Yeah.
After they kind of turned traitor before Beast made it worse.
I love you so much. I mean, thank you for being on the show today. Wait, so let's talk about pain in relation to this episode, because I know I think it's very obvious, but Anna, let's hear your talk. Give us your hot tea on pain in What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark.
Well, let's see. We got to see Tony dying again. Rhodey. I knew Rhodey was gonna die when he was sent to get the vibranium.
I know.
I expected it, but I was never really prepared for it. And then Rhodey had to really put the nail in the coffin by saying, you gotta change the system by being a private. No, you do not tell someone like Killmonger that. You shut up. Yeah. You shut up.
Oh, it was just so... Oh, it was just one of those things.
And then you got Tony, who for some reason I was like, cool, you want to see Killmonger die and all, but then when he beats the robot, stabs Tony with the spear, like, Tony, why didn't you just send the video onto the internet the way Killmonger exposed Stain?
Mm-hmm. I know. It's one of those things. What I want to circle back on two topic points here. One, I love that Tony was back in the MCU in some iteration, because I don't know how you guys felt, and Daryl, I'm curious for your thoughts on this. But I was like,
I want them to stop killing off Tony.
Yes, stop killing off Tony and give me drunk Tony. Like, all I could think of was seeing him when he died. First of all, sidebar, I thought, speaking of pain, I thought the animation when he died, when that glass fell, I was like, oh, that was a budget cut right there. But I want to see Demon in a Bottle adapted. Like him drinking and being so funny and witty. I was like, that is Tony Stark. I'm sorry, Daryl, what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel we should see that version. And I don't know if they're ever going to do that version, though, because that would be really hard to pull off on the Disney Plus platform. If they did it, it would have to be like Hulu. So there's that differentiation on the more adult themes they shove towards Hulu, like MODOK is on, not Disney.
I mean, if Hulu can give Hitmonkey a show...
I love how that show just dropped today, by the way.
Right?
Like, where did... Sorry,
you know who Daryl? You know who Hitmonkey is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had no idea there was going to be a show.
You do now.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, the series was originally announced as part of The Offenders. So does this mean we're getting The Offenders? Like, are we getting that Dazzler and Tigra show?
And no, they canceled that. They canceled that hardcore.
Oh, did they? I thought,
the Dazzler show?
Yeah, but I thought Hitmonkey was part of that. Maybe Hitmonkey was already so knee deep in production.
They kept it. So MODOK was part of that too. So it was supposed to be Dazzler teaming up with Tigra. They were going to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a Howard the Duck show.
Yeah.
That was going to be produced that they also...
I got you.
So they kept part of it. And
maybe they found out about the movie.
Oh my God, your tea, Susanna. Thank God I'm drinking some whiskey and raspberry liqueur.
What do you call this drink?
But yes, I think if they ever wanted to tackle that storyline, I think they could do a really good job about it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have to be long form. It'd have to be at least a miniseries. And what do you do? I mean, they have the multiverse right now. They can do whatever they want. They can do anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think that Robert Downey Jr. would be down to return. I think both he and Chris Evans have made it pretty clear, like they're done with the characters, and they're doing their next big things.
Which is Dr. Doolittle too. Sorry, Susanna has me being salty tonight.
Wait, they're gonna make a sequel to that?
No, I think Robert Downey Jr. was in Dr. Doolittle, like the new Dr. Doolittle, like 2 or something like that. And then Chris Evans does all these like rom-coms and Netflix shows that no one watches.
I guess you could say that that Dr. Doolittle variant sucked.
Give me Eddie Murphy, Dr. Doolittle. That's
Oh my god, I loved those growing up.
Yeah.
Wait, so going back to this episode, I thought, I really liked seeing Tony Stark back in the MCU, just being his gregarious, larger than life personality, a drink in his hand, his comments during the press junket, I thought was handled so well, so RDJ. I'm sad that RDJ couldn't come back to voice him. I don't think they could afford him. In this case, I will say his contract was done and they couldn't afford him.
And I think that's why we have an absence of a lot of Thor as well, because that they could have tapped into Hemsworth if they wanted to, because they were filming. They could have done some voiceover when they were doing just some additional dialogue for Thor, because they had to bring him into a booth to re-record some of that stuff anyway. So
we've talked about that. Like, why not? Like, what if they had just told him, like, come in and do this? But like, even the same with Chris Pratt. They couldn't use like a grunt from some outtakes or even from the show or the series, itself. And also, who I'm also shocked about? Shuri. Why wasn't Shuri back? Because that character is so closely tied to the Black Panther franchise now.
I think I hear a rumor that we're going to recast her.
Why?
I think due to political views. Like, I saw some sort of rumor, which could have been from like comicbook.com or something. Like, who knows?
I think she's back because she's in the hospital right now because of stunt work on Black Panther or something like that.
Well,
I think
when Shuri showed up in Pepper's office, it was like, oh, thank God, Shuri is onto your shit. Thank God. Did Shuri see the tiny remote Killmonger just casually pulled up out of his pocket, like hoping no one would see?
I wouldn't put it past her. I think that she is a wonderful character. And this episode, so some of the episodes are self-contained, and you can tell that they are. But more and more, we're getting episodes that you can see it's going to lead to something else.
No.
The way this episode ended was so abrupt to me. And
so abrupt.
And just like last episode, where I felt that they could have extended last episode to be a feature-length movie, same with this one. This could have been a 2.5 hour movie, and we still would have wanted more.
And I think that's a testament to Michael B. Jordan once again being so captivating. Even just his voice work was so incredible here. And what I like about Killmonger is that he is a very refined, effective villain who can really take down the entire like Marvel universe if he wanted to, and given the chance to. I was so impressed by his voice work and the positioning of the character. And much like you with what you were saying, Daryl, I keep calling you Daryl this episode, Madrox. The entire episode, I was just, where's this going? Where's this going? And then it just abruptly ended. And so I'm like, oh, it has to be building towards something. It's Marvel. It's Marvel.
Was it just me, or was I like, because when I saw the Wakandans just battling it out, I was half expecting Killmonger to, let the queen die.
Yes, I got the same vibe.
Also, when he was with T'Chaka on the cliff, like, is he gonna kill him? Is he gonna kill T'Chaka?
Give him a shove.
Is he gonna like go scar on his Mufasa ass?
Oh my god, I was thinking that too. I was thinking there was gonna be that kind of like Lion King reference there.
I mean, it is Disney.
It is.
So, keep it in the family.
You know what? Actually, I found really hard for me to watch, and I didn't think it. I didn't think like I don't get impacted by things like this very easily. But when T'Challa was killed, and I was not okay with that emotionally. I'm not saying that like I think it was beautiful. Like if I'm a Marvel executive, I'm looking at this episode, I understand why they kept it in because obviously at the end he comes back and they have that conversation in the afterlife, and it's a very beautiful, touching scene. But as a viewer, Chadwick Boseman, our king, like it was just so hard to process. You know what I mean? I know.
And it really makes me wonder how they're going to write around his actual death for the movie next year and how they're grappling with that.
That is like a huge source of contention in like the like MCU community on like Reddit and like movie vloggers, because I think Kevin Feige said they were going to recast, but not recast in a significant way, just like recast like as a body double or like a stunt person wearing the suit to like elucidate the death.
Isn't Namor supposed to be in the next Black Panther movie?
I have heard that rumor.
Is it confirmed? So, I'm always confused. I thought it was confirmed, but I don't think it is because we've had Namor cosplay, and Namor cosplay would have said that. Sorry, continue, Susanna.
Speaking of if so, and hear me out, a way to bring in Namor. You have him kill T'Challa and drown in a bunch of Wakandans, you know. Mm-hmm. That way you can get the war started.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing that I'm thinking. If they're going to do Namor, they're probably going to want him to be an anti-hero, right? And if he kills T'Challa, like unless he is possessed by a cosmic parasite or something like that, I don't think audiences will ever forgive Namor. Now, unless they just want to have Namor be a straight up villain that like Thanos, like at the end, they're just one and done, goodbye. But I think if we're going to have longevity with Namor, you can't have him kill T'Challa. That would be... However T'Challa dies, it can't be at the hand of a character that they want to invest in because the audience would not forgive that character.
Unless he was an unforgivable villain. Like Dr. Doom.
So that is the other rumor that like the real big bad of Black Panther 2 is supposedly going to be Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Sorry,
did you ever read that comic series when Doom pulled a Bane and somehow broke his back?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was Doom War. You know, it was back before the days when Hank was not a lot of people, you know, didn't realize just how far Hank has fallen. It was during one of the few dark times of the X-Men, you know, when Havoc was leading that one group of X-Men. Lorna was slowly losing her mind. Juggernaut was a member. Iceman was still in the closet, but for some reason, Northstar liked him.
Good times. Chuck Austin.
Yes. Who could tell? Who could tell
Chuck Austin.
Who knew? Austin. Damn. Person is on my X-Men shit list. Anyway, during Doom War, you know, Dr. Doom wants vibranium. He goes to Wakanda. He goes to he go ask Bast for it, and then he gives a compelling argument. And somehow, the dumbass cat said yes. I mean, I love Doom. I mean, sure, he's right. And for a lot of reasons. But this is very important. If Dr. Doom wants important shit like vibranium, spoiler alert, the answer is always no.
Yes. Oh my God, Susanna, this is exactly why we wanted you on ASAP.
It should have been in this moment where all of Wakanda should have been turned into atheists. Mm-hmm. For the sole fact that their god gave their metal to one of the few guys who was trying to like control or wipe them out.
It is ludicrous. It's so, I think like now in today's world, like writing world, like we wouldn't see things like that happen.
I mean, unless you're
Editorial was
Jason
very,
Aaron.
there's
Unless you're
a,
Jason Aaron.
yeah. Oh, who was I talking to? Oh, I think it's Namor Cosplay. Susanna, do you talk to Namor Cosplay? They,
I
oh, you do,
I
you
broke
do.
him. I
Broke him.
broke
That's
him
right.
that one time.
I remember you sent me the screenshot.
I
To-
broke Namor
you
Cosplay.
broke our king because
I broke the king. I broke him.
okay. But can we talk about Angela Bassett and Queen Ramonda, like, and it being revealed? I don't think it's been revealed before that she's actually like the head of the Dora. How incredible was that?
Yeah, that was real because
Angela Bassett can do anything.
I mean, her being the head was wonderful. And even when you're looking at who they brought back, because like I mentioned last episode, I watch the credits like a hawk now because I want to see which original actors and actresses are coming back. And none of them mattered to me more than Angela Bassett. Like Angela Bassett came back for this cartoon episode. That's fantastic.
But do you know what's hysterical? The other night when I couldn't sleep, I was Googling Angela Bassett's name because I loved her in Coven when she played Marie Laveau. Oh my God. Like goddess. But then I came across an article where she was originally offered the role of Storm, but apparently they couldn't afford her. And now I'm like, oh, I love that Disney has the money to have her come on their cartoon. But the X-Men back in 2000.
Thanks to Sylvie, we could get her as a variant.
Oh, I know. Ooh. Oh, she would be a perfect Storm. Still to this day, she would be a perfect Storm.
Which would be a perfect example to bring in the X-Men. You want to know why I think that? Because one of Kang's variants, Rama Tut. And which X-Men villain does Rama Tut have? Apocalypse! Yes!
Yes!
They could get away with it.
I'm 100% there
with Angela Bassett for your Storm.
Oh my God! Even if she wanted to play high school, I wouldn't question it.
If Angela Bassett wanted to play a 16-year-old Storm, I'll fucking go along with it. We'd be like, no, this is totally normal and fine.
I don't know what's wrong with you. That's how 16-year-old people look like. They look like Angela Bassett.
Haven't you watched anything on CW 69?
Yeah. It's true.
Oh my God.
Also, of course teenagers are acting like that. It's CW 69.
Yeah. I haven't watched the CW in a minute, but I am watching
You're
Titans.
Not missing much.
I was into what episode? What series was I into? I was into Arrow, Flash, Batwoman.
You're not missing
obviously.
Much on Flash.
I know. I kind of figured. I kind of figured after they kept repeating everything, but like the plot wise. But I thought this episode. I love the performances. I love the homages. Obviously, there were so many great homages. The Gwyneth Paltrow voice kind of took me off because I don't know if I've said this enough. I'm a huge Gwenny fan. Like, I subscribe to Goop. Like, I buy Goop products. Come after me, internet. But her voice took me out of it. But I was happy to see Pepper Potts in there. And I love the ending with her and Shuri. I'm just like, oh, this is obviously setting up something bigger. You know what I mean? Like whether we're going to get in season 1 or a season 2, I think something
probably A-Force.
Oh God, please give us A-Force. I agree.
Once upon a time in a dream, I had because due to imagination and insomnia.
Same, sis.
Yes.
That's the name of our joint memoir.
Cool.
Dreams and insomnia.
Yeah.
Or imagination and insomnia.
Pepper
Sorry.
Decides to get her shit together, takes over America, becomes president for life, and forms A-Force. And in another instance, Shuri decides to say, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna take over Wakanda. Because
she can.
Because she has the brains, the tact, and she would be an amazing queen / leader. Yeah.
And in one of those, and towards the end, towards this dream, no one really stops them. Not out of because they figured they couldn't, because they are good. They figured they would be good.
Listen,
At the
any
job.
universe where Gwyneth Paltrow is the president of the United States, I am there for.
Hey, if Exiles can make Magma president, why not What If?
What if Gwyneth was the MCU president? No, but I think what I've liked about Gwyneth in this role, specifically Pepper Potts, I think Pepper Potts has proven herself to be a very capable leader, business person, a great character. I think it's unfortunate that probably Gwyneth as an actress is done with acting because she's focusing on being an entrepreneur. In her epic quote, she was an actress or I'm sorry, she was an entrepreneur masquerading as an actress. Hashtag goop. But anyways, back to this episode.
Out of all the people I was expecting to die or like hoping would see die, I'm very disappointed it wasn't T'Chaka because I'm like, you got him alone. You got him on a cliff.
Yeah, and
he's right there.
And the journey of Killmonger throughout the entire episode is that he's fucking ruthless. He will do anything because he has a grand plan. And just like you said, I am so surprised that he did not kill the King and Queen of Wakanda. But I think that's going to be...
or at least just
the
T'Chaka, because did he like not know who killed his dad? Was that it? Was that probably the reason?
Yeah.
I
think we're going to see more of the story unfold. It ended too abruptly. It was too much of an abrupt ending. I have to see it fully spanned out before I can sit here and be like, oh, blah, 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 And that's my only criticism with this. I was enjoying it, but then at the same time when it ended, I was like, that's it. It's kind of like how I felt about Marvel Zombies. I enjoyed being in this universe. I wanted more. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe as a viewer, it feels a little weird. Like, I don't want my appetite to be wet. Like, I kind of want to relish in this universe, sort of how we relished in some of the other worlds we have seen. Like, I can walk away from the Captain Carter episode being like, I got a good sense of that world. Similarly with like the Doctor Strange one and even like the Black Widow, Hank Pym one. These last two, I've been like, I feel like it was just the tip of the iceberg. Are you trying to make me excited for what's to come? Or was this bad writing? I'm inclined to say, it's the former because I think the writing is pretty solid. And I've been happy. I think what Daryl said.
Of What If it's like that meme. Oh my God, this can't get any more painful. And then in the next episode, hold my beer.
and there are some, to speak to what you said, Dayspring. Some of the episodes are closed book. We know that, all right, that's a fully realized storyline. And I feel they're setting up a few tent poles for, I don't know if it's the season finale or if it's for the next season.
Yeah.
We have to, by closing up some of these stories, they're opening up avenues for new stories next season, which they need to do. You can't do the Doctor Strange stuff through 4 seasons. Like, we kind of know that story is realized. It's done. But I feel right now that Captain Carter and the zombies and Killmonger, those 3 episodes right now are shoo-ins for continuation next season. And I think we're going to probably get one more of those before this season is done, where it will recur throughout at least next season, if not further.
Agreed. I mean, especially like to go back to that Chrysler commercial where we had all the characters congregated. I mean, there has to be something that they're going to be doing, like where they're going to unify. And we've seen shots again where Gamora, who we still haven't seen, and I'm forgetting who's in the shot, but like they do like the Avengers style union that we saw in the first Avengers. So
with the Watcher not doing shit except for that Doctor Strange one, it's each episode makes me not feel so bad if they ever decide to have Nick Fury kill him off. If you do not get that joke,
oh, trust me, I see that joke.
Do you get that joke?
It's from
Oh,
the.
you don't get the joke. Oh,
What?
he does not get the joke. Oh,
I don't.
damn.
Well, no. It's so a couple summers ago we had a big mystery series in
Okay,
the
you know how
Marvel
in comics
universe.
there's like a Black Fury now?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the son of White Nick Fury, who for some reason decided to kill the Watcher and steal his eyeballs. It's like set up this whole murder mystery and shit.
Yeah, it was.
Because the Watcher
horrendous.
saw something he shouldn't have, and Fury had to silence him. And like, Fury, it's the Watcher. Who do you think you're messing with, Aaron? Aaron, the Rogue Watcher, who teamed up with Doom that one time.
It was
it's
like
the Watcher. It also you're like Nick.
it was part of the original
human. You're
sin.
not Galactus. You can't. You're not threatening shit.
Yeah, it was part of the. It was the original Sin crossover, and that's where we got like Thor seeing like, oh, Angela, I have a sister and stuff like that. But
And
I
then
think
she barely becomes in comics once they own your ass.
I know it's so interesting. Sidebar, but like, yeah, it was really interesting how they brought her in just to Neander. But that's fine. So, Daryl, what did you think of this episode? How do you think it ranks against some of the other ones we saw?
Oh, I think you bring up a good point. We're in the place where we can finally start ranking stuff because we have too many episodes to really just pick a favorite. I think the ranking, this would be, I think, number 3 for me.
Yeah.
Just because I do like the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, and I really liked the Zombies episode. So this one is number 3.
Okay. And Susanna, aka Metal.Magnetman, what do you think of this episode compared to the others?
It's pain. It's painful within each for various reasons. Because while the current phase of Marvel is, time is an illusion, as is death. That's right. I just brought some Avatar fans for you. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show.
Yes. Oh,
nothing else.
It needs no introduction.
Yes.
It's not the blue people.
No.
Not James Cameron.
I mean, I love the movie, but Anyway, time is illusion, as is death. Meanwhile, What If it's like, yeah, fuck you.
Well, time is broken. That's it. We saw it in Loki, and I think this is a byproduct of that. And I think it's going to come into fruition
The
in
multiverse.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
Is nothing really matters.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm like so sad now after like drinking my entire whiskey with
It's
like
not
St.
your
George
fault.
liqueur.
We can blame Loki for like nothing matters.
I'm like, you're right.
Throwing papers in the air during Pompeii.
No, I mean it's a very valid perspective, and it feels like a lot of things are inconsequential, especially when like the multiverse timeline, sacred timeline, is now shattered. But I think we're seeing the byproduct of that in everything. And I think some of the themes, I'm going to maintain this. I think some of the themes that are happening here, we're going to see carry over into Doctor Strange. And I don't think Doctor Strange or Spider-Man No Way Home is the end for this multiverse saga. I think we're doing the home run all the way to Secret Wars. Did I get that analogy right? Is that what happens in baseball? You get a home run, right?
I'm not a sports person either.
Sure.
Sports ball.
Sports, yes. Yes. But anyways, Susanna, thank you for joining us today. Where can the folks at home find you?
On Instagram, Metal.Magnetman, and if I'm not on Instagram, I'm scrolling through my Tumblr.
Oh my God, Tumblr. Yes, I still use Tumblr.
Yeah, either that or I'm writing my fan fiction.
Where can folks find your fan fiction?
The greatest place of all, Archive of Our Own, AO3. Hold up. I got like 47 fics on here. Where am I?
Yeah, don't worry.
I Will Ship You Man 69.
All right, perfect.
I got like 47 fics. And I think if you're a comic book, you'll like this series. Professor X is a jerk.
Yeah.
And in at least 2 of them, I give Magneto Wolverine claws.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Everyone needs to read this and bring your thoughts to the next book club.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah. I'm really ready for them to surprise us any second now by posting what this week's episode will be about, so I can prepare myself physically and mentally and emotionally for the pain that will be brought.
Oh, and with that, guys, we will see you next week. Bye.
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 Bye.